when the Chinese had the shaggy roads, whereas the US had only the highway system. When the Chinese have to run for miles to use the telephone, whereas it is everywhere in the US, in every corner, on every street side, and in every family. Right? And the Chinese have to crowd themselves into morning buses to get to work, while the Americans, they can just jump on their own cars and drive to work, and park their cars right in front of their offices. Right? So that was my mentality 34 years ago when I first went to the US to study. In the past 5 to 10 years, my mentality has become, what's so special about the Chinese? They can always do something so well and so well, even better than everybody else. Right? Like so many of those Western technologies and the management systems, that was my admiration and envy, nowadays have become Chinese practices. And the Chinese seems to be taking over and surpassing the Western counterparts. Right? And when I move around in China, I see those most successful business people working as hard as they have always been. They don't seem to be slowing down. They work days and nights. And they always ask, what's the latest technology? What's new there I can apply to my business? And every weekend, they have big classes of business people, technicians, scholars who sit together to study, to exchange information, to discuss various challenging questions. Like nowadays, one of the biggest topics that they discuss is how can we do well at a time of economic hardship, right? So outsiders will look at the hardship that the Chinese are facing, whereas within China, those private business people, those engineers and the scholars, they will discuss how to do better at a time of economic hardship. And this typical mentality and slogan is, there's always a solution to every problem. And we always have more solutions than problems. So that's the typical mentality and attitude. Right? This is especially true in a place like Shenzhen. So next time you organize your study trips to China, I strongly encourage you, strongly recommend you to include Shenzhen. That I believe is one of the most energetic and dynamic areas in the world. Right? So again, so far I've made the point that Chinese private business people, they are creative enough, they're energetic enough, they're knowledgeable enough to solve any problem that they encounter. The only question is, when will the government give them the opportunity? Policy-wise, allowing them to do more things. Resource-wise, giving them the necessary financial and other supports. And the answer is typically at bad times. There has been a few historical incidents that's happened, and the magic worked. A major historical incident was in the early 1960s when Mao Zedong was still the dominant leader of China, the absolute authority of the Chinese society. And if you have any knowledge about him, you would know that he is a man of ideas and dreams. He's not just a practical leader. He has in his mind what a great society should be like. And in his mind, and to him, the great society is one of communism. So, he's a communist. He's a follower of Marxism. And he hates exploitation of anyone by anyone. So he wants to have a society of harmony in which everybody is equal and everybody can live with dignity for this life. And yet, in his endeavor towards communism, he killed private incentives. He launched a communist system in Chinese countryside, right? In 1958. And 2 years later, grain production dropped substantially. And with bad harvest, with a bad harvest and a bad management of the little harvest that they have in hand, millions of people started to starve. Right? Food was generally in severe shortage, and many people starved. And there's a lot of debate and arguments about exactly how many people starved. But nobody would question those were years of very severe food shortage. So, they imported a lot of food, but compared with the population and compared with the magnitude of the shortage, the imports from countries like Canada and Australia basically counted for nothing. They helped, but very little. So what could the Chinese do to save lives? To put food on families' dinner tables. They did something very simple and easy. They allowed 10% of the communist land, the farming land. They allowed 10% of the communist farming land to be cultivated by private households. Right? So private peasant households were given 10% of the land to grow crops and vegetables and food for livestock. And within a short period of time, something like half a year, the food market start to see supplies, and people start to be able to buy cucumbers, potatoes, cabbages, and a lot of these things in the food market. And starvation is over. And then in the next year, grain production starts to go up. Right? And people start to be able to eat. Not enough, not quite enough, but in a decent way. So basically what the government did was to do less. All the government had to do was to do less. And then there was enough food in the market. So, learning from this lesson, that 10% of land was kept by the farming households. Even during the Cultural Revolution, when Mao made big strides towards his communist dreams. This was the first test of the magic button, magic ball. The second time was in 1979. Because once the population had the starvation time over, Mao started to make big strides towards communism again. And in the process, economic efficiency went down and down and down. And in 1979, China ranked in the same category with the poorest countries in the world. Right? In the same category with sub-Saharan African countries and South Asian countries. So you can't go further down, basically. China was as poor as it could be. And there was, as I was describing, there was no telephone for people to use. There was no highways there was no cars for private individual households to own. Right? Everything was allocated by the government. Like how many pounds of grain you can buy each month, how much meat you can buy each month, how many clothes you can have per year, how much sugar you can buy and consume a year, and so on and so forth. Right? So economic efficiency went to the lowest point, and the Chinese went to the richest level, the poorest level in the world. So that was the reason Deng Xiaoping felt that China was headed in a wrong direction. And he made this famous statement that poverty does not lead to communism. Poverty is not what we want for having a socialist system. Right? So at that time, Mao passed away in 1976. And by 1979, Deng Xiaoping was already firmly in power, steering the direction of the country. Okay? So, Deng Xiaoping launched a campaign saying that by the end of this century, China should become a country of modern industry, modern agriculture, modern military capacity, and modern culture. And people did a quick calculation. And they found in order to reach the standard that the targets that Deng Xiaoping set for the economy, they need to grow. The economy needed to grow at a 7% growth rate per annum for about 20 years. And everybody thought that was impossible. Nobody believed him to grow at 7% per annum continuously for 20 years. That was impossible. That would be a magic in the world. That was unprecedented for economic development. But they did not realize that Deng Xiaoping had this magic wand, this magic weapon. And as soon as he pulls out this magic wand, the magic happened. The economy grew at 10% per annum in a row for 40 years, which is where we are now. This is where the Chinese economy is at. So